Good evening and welcome to Icu Tv Main News. I am Miriam Deborah Kamani. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. 4 inmates escaped from Lubambala Correctional Facility. An elderly farmer murdered in Chama over witchcraft allegation, and later in the news, UPND highlights national progress under President Haga in the Hichilema. In international news, Mutharika takes early lead in Malawi presidential election. And in sports news, Zambia's Frankie Musonda joins Bahrain SC on free transfer. More details coming up shortly after this. And now the news details. 4 inmates have escaped from Lubambala Correctional Facility in Pika District, Muchinga Province. Muchinga Province Commanding Officer Dennis Mola confirmed the incident, stating that it occurred on Saturday, 20th September 2025 at around 11:30 hours. He explained that the inmates were part of the 33 who had been taken to Lubambala farm to harvest maize when the escape happened. Mr. Mola said the 4 managed to slip away unnoticed during a farming activity. A search was immediately conducted by officers at the correctional facility, but efforts to recapture the fugitives were unsuccessful. The escapees have been identified as Peter Silungwe, who was facing a charge of breaking into a building and committing felony therein. Philemon Muwowo, 26, charged with burglary and theft. Maxon Chibanga, 25, also charged with burglary and theft, and Victor Chilongo, 22, who faced similar charges. Police have since opened a docket, launched investigations, and initiated a manhunt to track down and rearrest the escapees. Mr. Mola has appealed to members of the public to report any suspicious individuals or information that could assist in locating the fugitives. A 72-year-old peasant farmer has been murdered in Chama district, allegedly after suspicious of witchcraft. Eastern Province Police Commissioner Rebenston Mwemba confirmed the incident, identifying the victim as Topson Mbulo of Chief Kabombo's chiefdom. Mr. Mbulo was found dead in his garden on 20th September 2025 at 7 hours and 13 hours, with multiple deep wounds to the head believed to have been inflicted with an axe. According to police, the farmer had left home early in the morning to tend to his field, but never returned. His wife, Ruth Nkata, and son-in-law, Sam Goma, later discovered his lifeless body during a search. Preliminary investigations suggest the killing may have been linked to recent accusation of witchcraft against Mr. Mbulo, following the death of the man killed by an elephant and destruction of crops belonging to another farmer. The body has been deposited at Chama District Hospital mortuary for post-mortem as investigations continue. The UPND has outlined key achievements under the New Dawn government, pointing to peace, job creation, and economic transformation as central to Zambia's recovery. UPND Media Director Mark Simue said the revival of mines, recruitment of over 60,000 public sector workers, and expansion of the CDF, now admired by countries like Namibia, reflect the administration's development focus. He added that GDP growth has risen to nearly 6%, supported by prudent reforms, local fertilizer production, and battery exports to 8 countries.
The first success that we have scored under the UPND government is peace. There is no investor like in the mining sector who can invest in an economy that has no peace, an economy or country that is not stable. Secondly, policy consistency. The reason we have been able to persuade the mining investors is because there's been policy consistency and also putting in place or formulating policies that attract investment. You have seen KCM is back. People in Chingola, Mufurila, Kitwe can now get back their jobs. You have Mimbula mine that now stands at about 3,000 workers. All that goes with leadership. It's not an accident. That's why others lost jobs, but we are gaining more and more jobs. The next thing that you need to deal with, free education. We have managed to add, in a space of 4 years, 2.5 million pupils who had stayed away from the classroom because parents had no money to take them to school. Thirdly,
we now take our first break. Stay tuned for more news.
Did you know that mental health conditions are treatable and recovery is possible? Hi, I'm Ngenia Moyo. I'm your host on Let's Talk Mental Health. I invite you all to this show where you freely express yourself, and together we find a solution. For more details, you can contact 0777 93 73 92, and we'll be there to help you find solutions to whatever you're going through.
Welcome back, and now in our local stories. The Ministry of Tourism has confirmed the arrest of Chama District Commissioner Yobe Goma along with his driver and 2 civil servants for poaching-related offences in Musangala Game Management Area. According to a statement issued to Icu Tv by the Ministry of Tourism Principal Public Relations Officer Nelly Banda, the 4 occupants were apprehended on 20th September 2025 following a joint operation by the Department of National Parks and Wildlife and its 9th Kwacha unit. The team intercepted a government's vehicle, a white Toyota Land Cruiser, which was found transporting 2 wildlife carcasses on Impala and Puku. The 4 occupants were immediately taken into custody. The ministry added that the suspect will be charged with unlawful hunting in the game management area and unlawful possession of government trophies under the Zambia Wildlife Act No. 14 of 2015. The ministry has reaffirmed zero tolerance stance on poaching, warning that no individual, regardless of status, will be shielded from the law. The public has been urged to allow due process to take its course, with authorities reiterating their zero tolerance stance on poaching and wildlife-related corruption. Zambia has joined the rest of the world in commemorating World Tourism Week under the theme Tourism and Sustainable Transformation with a week-long celebration in Livingstone. Tourism Minister Rodney Sikumba said the government under President Hakainde Hichilema remains committed to growing the tourism sector as a key driver of economic development. Speaking near the Victoria Falls, Sikumba highlighted the site's global significance and assured the people of Livingstone of the government's unwavering support.
Is indeed the destination of choice. And I'd just like to encourage you, the media, and colleagues in the private sector, and indeed those of us in government, to ensure that we continue supporting this sector. This sector, ladies and gentlemen, alone is a sector that can contribute immensely to some of the challenges that we're experiencing. And vis-a-vis, we're talking about unemployment. The high unemployment that we're experiencing right now as a country can only be dealt with if we put our hard work to making sure that this particular sector of ours grows. And I just want to indicate to you that numbers don't lie. When we're talking about numbers don't lie, we simply mean that the contribution of the sector, your sector, our sector, the tourism sector, in 2023 was about 1.9% of GDP. The following year, in 2023, it went up, 2023, it went up to 2.9%. And with the numbers that we're seeing already.
Copperbelt Minister Elisha Mutambo has reiterated the government's commitment to collaborating with the church to deliver quality services to communities. Speaking during a fundraising service at the United Church of Zambia UCZ Bethel congregation in Chabuluma, Kalulushi, Mr. Mutambo said this partnership supports President Hakainde Hichilema's vision of church and government as key partners in national development. The minister donated 30,000 kwacha and helped raise over 100,000 kwacha from UPND officials and stockholders to replace to replace the church's collapsing roof. He encouraged the church to leverage Constituency Development Funds (CDF) to address community challenges and urged youths to access loans and bursaries available through the expanded CDF program. Reverend Stewart Kabasa thanked the minister, emphasizing the importance of this collaboration in meeting community and church needs. We'll take a short break. Coming up in sports and international news, stay with us.
Welcome to the Zambia Research and Development Center, an institution dedicated to national development through capacity building and community development. Established in 2007 by a group of professionals and lecturers, ZRDC has since become a hub of research and innovation in the country. Registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Registrar of Societies, ZRDC pursues cutting-edge research to address pressing social and economic challenges. Get involved. ZRDC engages in activities that stimulate international collaboration, promote knowledge sharing, and make research expertise available to decision makers. Our mission at ZRDC is to foster innovation and capacity building for national development. We believe in addressing poverty and underdevelopment through institutional and capacity building, human empowerment, and gender participation. In our quest to foster innovation and capacity building for national development, ZRDC launched the ZRDC University Sponsorship for Capacity Building and Development Program to facilitate knowledge advancement among ZRDC researchers and those intending to join the research community. Qualified Zambian citizens can pursue education at credible universities in Zambia with guaranteed prospects of joining the ZRDC research community. ZRDC engages in industrial and technological research, covering research development and innovative investigations to drive dynamic industrial development at national and regional levels. Join us at the Zambia Research and Development Center as we continue to innovate, empower, and shape a brighter future for Zambia. ZRDC, fostering innovation and capacity building for national development.
Welcome back, and now in our international news. Malawi is still waiting for the full result of the presidential election, with early figures showing former President Peter Mutharika leading with 51% of the vote, while current President Lazarus Chakwera has around 39%. The Election Commission has urged all candidates to wait for the official announcement and warned against claiming victory too soon. Malawi's former President Peter Mutharika has taken an early lead in this week's election. Now, according to the results partially released by the country's Electoral Commission, votes counted from 9 of Malawi's 36 councils, Mutharika has secured 51% of valid votes ahead of incumbent Lazarus Chakwera, who trails behind with 39%, raising possibility of an outright win if the trend continues. This election marks the fourth face-off between the two leaders, with analysts predicting a tight race. Now, Chakwera, who won the 2020 election after Mutharika's previous win was annulled, has faced criticism of economic stagnation, inflation, and slow progress on corruption. Mutharika, who served from 2014 to 2020, is credited for improving infrastructure, but others have accused him of giving government jobs and favors to friends instead of appointing qualified people, something he denied. The Electoral Commission has until September 24th to announce the full provisional results and has cautioned candidates to announce the win prematurely or tally sheets are being cross-checked to ensure accuracy. Still in international news, at least 25 members of the same family have been killed in an Israel airstrike on the Sabra neighborhood in Gaza City as the Israel military intensifies its operation against the Strip. The attack, which occurred in the early hours of Sunday, flattened several homes, with survivors and emergency responders still digging through the rubble in search of victims. At least 17 people have been rescued so far, but fears remain that as many as 50 others are trapped beneath the debris. Family members at the scene described hearing voices from under the rubble pleading for help. Rescuers also reported being targeted by Israel drones, making recovery efforts dangerous and slow. The situation remains dire as Gaza continues to face heavy bombardment. We take a short break, more to come in sports news. Stay with us.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Welcome back, and now in our sports news. Zambian international defender Frankie Musonda has officially joined Bahrain SC on a free transfer after leaving Scottish champion side Arab United. The 27-year-old centre-back made his debut for Bahrain SC in a 3-1 defeat to Al Ahly AC. Musonda, who played for Area United since June 2022, accumulated 71 appearances, scoring 5 goals and providing 3 assists. His departure from Area United was confirmed after his contract expired in May 2025. The defender's move to Bahrain SC marks a new chapter in his career, bringing his talents to Bahrain Premier League. As a key player for the Zambian national team, Musonda's performance has been closely watched. He's debuted for Zambia in March 2022, scoring his side's 3rd goal in a 3-1 win over Congo. With his recent transfer, Musonda becomes an exciting prospect for football fans in Bahrain and Zambia alike. That sports item brings us to the end of ICU TV menus, but before we leave, let's take a quick recap of the stories that made headlines. 4 inmates escaped from Lubambala Correctional Facility. Elderly farmer murdered in Chama over witchcraft allegation. UPND highlights national progress under President Hichilema. And in our international stories, Mutharika takes early lead in Malawi presidential election. And in our sports news, Zambia's Frankie Musonda joins Bahrain FC on free transfer. Thank you for tuning into ICU TV menus. For more updates, stay tuned to our ICU TV Facebook page and our website icutvzm.com. Good night and God bless.